Bringing our international affairs editor, Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, I think Andrew set up quite nicely. We're waiting for Joe Biden to arrive, the US president, but this is going to be another meeting between the leader of the world's most powerful country and the leader of the world's most populous.
Yes, one more meeting between these two men. It's been more than a dozen meetings, whether in person or virtually, between the two men since Joe Biden took office. And really, the goal is to tighten the relationship between the United States and India, and also to build on that state visit that we saw in that report that was back in June. There were a lot of things announced there, and the U.S. and India want to continue working to really concretely apply those deals. There's, of course, the GE decision to build jet engines in India. There's the sale of U.S. armed drones and the building of a nearly 3 billion semiconductor assembly line in India. So all of those things need some fine-tuning. That will be the core of the discussion there. Also, some global issues that they're going to be discussing, like climate change. There will also be some topics that will be not so easy for them to discuss. For example, India's human rights records, as well as concerns about press freedom. And there's been some friction there with the American press traveling with Joe Biden. Still no clear indication whether the U.S. press will be able to get into that bilateral. And the question is, will Joe Biden raise those issues with Modi, or will he try to sort of temper it down because there's so many things that they really want to work together with?
Now, two notable absences: Russian President Vladimir Putin, President Xi from China. He's sending Li Qiang, his Prime Minister, instead. Does that play into the hand of Narendra Modi in meeting with Biden and setting up his agenda?
It's absolutely seen, actually, for both of them, for both Modi and Biden. This absence of Xi Jinping is something that they're both going to try to seize on because there is, of course, overshadowing this G20, the influence of China. And one of the reasons that Biden and Modi have been talking so much in the past couple of years is also to counter that influence of China. Modi wants all those deals, wants to get closer to the Americans because he wants the Americans to see them as really this powerhouse in the region, especially in the Indo-Pacific. And the United States wants to use India as sort of a bridge, not only with the Indo-Pacific, but also with the global South. They know that India is sort of playing a balancing act between those two regions, but the Americans also are trying to get them as close as possible to the West. And so they're really going to focus on using India and seeing it as the future counterweight, especially in the Indo-Pacific, to China. And that is going to be really a focus and something that both Modi and Biden are going to play around with throughout this G20.